Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
Cyril, question from David about Elliott wave analysis. Do you use that at all?
A little bit. It's not, my technical analysis is not based only on Elliott wave. I'm not a fan of Elliott wave analysis, but I have to keep it in mind. Okay. For example, on the US dollar, on the EUI, the EUI has retraced 73%. It's a Fibonacci ratio. So if I use Fibonacci ratio, I can say that I use Elliott wave analysis, but I'm not a purist. I don't use Elliott wave analysis like an only technical tool. I hope I'm clear. But
no, you're clear. You're clear.
I use Elliott wave, but it's a small part of my analysis.
Understood.
A really small part.
One little small indicator. Understood. Sal has a question. It says, Cyril, after you hit your first target, do you ever add to your position, and do you take some profits off the table? And he also wants to say, great presentation.
Thank you. It's a really interesting question. Thank you to ask me this question. Actually, when I hit my first target, I take some profits. I take 50% profits. I don't add any position in the trend. I take some profits, 50% profits at the first target. And I take all profits on the second target.
So you're managing your risk, correct?
Yeah, correct, exactly.
Thank you. Another question here from Stephanie. I'm going to start using pivots. Are there any particular parameters to use if Stephanie wants to start using pivots?
I don't catch the question, actually. Why do you want to know exactly, Stephanie? I need precision, but any particular parameters? Because a pivot point is actually a key level. There are no parameters. The pivot point is a key support, a key resistance, a neckline, or key horizontal level, or key trend line. So if the pair break above or below this key pivot point, the pivot point means that the position is stop out, and means that we change the sense of the arrow.
Cyril, I think what Stephanie might be referring to is that there have been other guests that have been here at the IEC, and they talk about pivot points, and they created their own methodology to come up with, I think they use standard deviations to say, okay, here's the support or resistance, and then they call them pivot points from, whatever, X to Y or X to Z. So I think that's maybe what she's talking about. You just use them as a basic support and resistance area, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Okay, I see what she's talking about. Okay, but at Trading Central, we keep it simple regarding pivot point.
Thank you. Romeo has a question. He says, let me just repeat that. How well do these techniques work for FX daily trade? So I guess he's trying to say the spot. It seems to me that they wouldn't work that well since the daily trading involves much more volatility. I guess that's what Romeo is trying to say, is if you're using a lot of leverage and you're trading the spot, will this work? And I guess you use a different methodology for that, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Bruce has a question. He says the GBP may have a short, sharp rally the next 2 weeks. If so, would it be good to trade a strangle or straddle? I'll take this one, Cyril, since it's an options question. Yes, Bruce, I mean, if you thought that the market was going to have a big move and you didn't know which way, it'd be great to be trading a strangle or straddle, but you have to think of the downside of that is if it doesn't move in the next 2 weeks, you could lose a considerable amount of money because you're buying a lot of premium, and you're basically buying two options. You're buying the right to sell it and the right to buy it. So you need to be basically double right. You need to have a pretty big move. So you need magnitude. What you could do, and many attendees have told me this is the way they trade these, is that if the move starts to happen, they flip out of that one option pretty quickly, but you do run the risk of sort of where the market actually rejects and goes back the other way. But again, if you're predicting more volatility, you'd be looking to buy options, maybe a call and a put. If you just have one direction, well, then you're buying less premium, and then, of course, you're just looking for that one direction. Cyril's given us pretty clear views that he likes the dollar, and it's really up to us to decide, when we're going to be doing this. His preference is against the Canadian, although he does like the British pound, New Zealand dollar, and the Australian dollar relative to the U.S., meaning that the U.S. he prefers as the currency that would rally. So that in most cases, if you're trading CDD, NZD, AUX, you'd be buying calls, and even the BPX. Correct, Cyril?
Correct, exactly, Steve.
Does anybody have any other questions? We are recording this so you can come back and listen to this over and over and over again. Danny says this was very, very interesting. Yes, you can come back and listen to it. Cyril, do you make long-term predictions? Andrew's saying, asking for a prediction by the end of the year on the opposite, which would be GBP, which is the British pound over the U.S. dollar. Do you have a prediction, or do you not like to do that?
Yeah, so Andrew, I can do,
okay.
I can do that for you. Let me share my desktop again. I don't like long-term outlook predictions, but on this kind of pattern, I can do that because we have a rounding bottom, a clear rounding bottom.
Wow. Okay.
But for me, as the rounding bottom has been shed during several months, I can do that. BPX will go to 73 by the end of the year.
Wow. Okay, so that is a very strong prediction that the U.S. dollar will rally and the British pound will weaken. And Cyril's saying by the end of the year we're going back to the old highs, which again, if you believe that, you could go out and buy a 9 or 10 month option. Again, this is just one trade, but you might want to do a 65.70 or a 68.73 call spread. And those options are out there. So if you're bullish, as Cyril is, on BPX, there are trades that you can look out 9 months or so and implement that kind of forecast. So great, Cyril. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I want to add something. On BPX, I think 73 will be reached progressively. I'm strongly bullish regarding my first target. I think the pair can reach the first target at 69 very quickly. But afterwards, after 69, I think we will see sideways trading with a slight bearish turn, very slight bearish turn, in order to consolidate the strong acceleration, the strong bullish acceleration. But I think by the end of the year, we can see 73.
Thanks, Cyril.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.